Everyone, welcome back again. So in the continuation of our communication series, we have been doing barriers of communication. So the last barrier we have learned about the psychological barriers. So now in this video we are going to learn about the personal barriers. So students, without any further delay, let's begin. What is the personal barrier? So, students, I'm going to define about the personal barrier. So here the highlighted part is saying that the personal barrier relate to the factors that are personal to the sender and the receiver and act as a hindrance in the communication process. So it is very much clear that in the communication process, whenever the occurrence of barrier occur due to some kind of personal interface, right, either in the part of the sender or the receiver. So here the personal interface means because of the personal opinion, because of the personal behavior, as well as the personal attitude or nature of an individual, either we talk about the sender or the receiver. See, they are not representing any country, they are not representing their organization, they are not representing their other societies strata. So here whatever the barrier occurs, it is totally based on their individual persona, right? What as an individual, what they thought about the particular thing and how they are going to react over it, right? So it is all about their personal interface, personal persona and the personal behavior. So sometimes, as you know, like we live in a society which is very much diverse in nature. We have to be very much persistent as well as flexible to have a very successful communication, right? So we have to understand the fact that how an individual is going to react over a particular things, right? So it is totally dependent upon the individual's behavior, individual's own personality. So this is a definition of personal barrier. So let's see the root causes of personal barrier. So students, as I told you that it is totally based on the person's persona, right? But we have dragged out some of the root causes that are the basis of these personal barrier, right? If we work on the basis of these personal barrier, so definitely the occurrence of barrier due to the personal reasons is going to be low and the function of communication is going to be very much strong. See on the very first picture of this side where the cursor is, see what are the common personal barrier if you have to categorize. So the first one is selective attention, right? Whenever you think that the two people are communicating with each other, one is the sender and the other one is the receiver, right? And here the sender is communicating diligently the information to the receiver, but the receiver at his own part, he is the one who is doing selective listening or paying selective attention to the sender's point of view, right? And this selective attention might be due to the cause that the receiver doesn't like the sender's personality. Receiver have some kind of enviness regarding the sender. So here what the receiver is doing, he is just paying attention to the part of the information which he find beneficial for his own cause, right? He is not paying full attention, he is not giving an ear to the sender's part. So selective attention due to the reason that you don't like someone, you don't like someone's behavior, you have the conflicts at your opinion. These all falls under the category of personal barrier, right? So selective attention is the cause. Second one is the lack of knowledge, right? Sometimes what happen, like when two people are communicating, one is having more knowledge and other is not having that much knowledge. So this also affects, and this can affect at various levels. Here the lack of knowledge means whatever the sender at his part is saying and he is very much knowledgeable, but the receiver is not that much knowledgeable. The receiver is just pretending to be knowledgeable, right? So whatever the information they are exchanging, they are not be able to be agree on the same page because both of them are having a different knowledge of that particular topic. though it is not the matter of fact if both are having the different knowledge of the topic, but the thing is that they should be flexible. They should show the cooperation and the feeling of mutualness, right? They must have the feeling of oneness, right? They must have the feeling to achieve the particular goal in the particular period of time. They have to avoid all their inner personal conflicts to be a part of the communication process that is going to be successful, right? So lack of knowledge also affect as well as comes under the personal barrier. Next one is the lack of vocabulary. Obviously, lack of vocabulary are these personal barrier, as you know that the lack of knowledge is also the part of the personal barrier. Sometimes it happens that both the sender and the receiver does not have that proper or good sophisticated vocabulary, or we can say empathetic vocabulary, right? Always remember, whenever you are communicating with other person, always hold the power of empathetic vocabulary. You always use the correct words, the correct words that does not hurt others feeling, the words that heal others personality, right? Your word should not be at the pinching level, your word should not pierce at anyone's heart. So always have the good collection of empathetic words. See, next one is lack of listening skill. Same goes to the selective attention. So either if I talk about the sender or the receiver, both must have a good proper listening skill. If one of them is lacking the part of the listening skill, then definitely it is going to affect the process of communication. So a strong good relationship, a strong good interpersonal communication as well as intrapersonal behavior, and a good part of a listening skill must be there at the part of the sender and the receiver. The next picture is saying that these three components, like your side, their side, and the truth. See, these three are interrelated with each other just by binding by the term understanding. So the understanding element must be there, right? Whenever you are communicating either to the two people or the three people or a group or an individual, you must hold the element of the understanding, right? It is very much natural that at every communication there will be three sides. One is your side, the one you are communicating with whom, like you have your own personal history, your own personal perspective, that is your side, and also the same goes with the second person, that is their side. But the thing is, in the mutual, these two, there is a truth, means which is very much applicable and true in nature. So these three binds together and falls on the same page, work on the process of communication, like the successful process of communication. So it is binded by an element, that is understanding. See, understanding is a very beautiful element that must be there at any communication. If there is understanding between two people, then definitely if there will be a barrier occur, they are going to resolve it quickly, right? So always remember, have understanding and true of nature, the mutual feelings of cooperation, the mutual feeling of empathizing, the mutual feeling of doing good for others, the mutual feeling of having a thinking benefit of others too. So these elements are the things that they are going to overcome the root causes of personal barrier. So students, that's all about today's lecture. Before summing up, I just wanted to summarize once it again, that if you are talking about the personal barrier, so personal barrier is related to the a person's personality, like the individual personality, the person's own individual thoughts, feelings, attitudes, and nature. If a person is quite empathizing in nature, if the person has the ability to deal empathizingly with other people by understanding their opinions, behavior, and problems like their own, so definitely the occurrence of the personal barrier will less. We have to understand that the fact we are living in a diverse society, and for the survival, what we have to do, so the matter of the fact is that empathize with others people, try to understand their feeling, try to put your own feet on their shoes, So definitely these things are going to help you to be a better person, right? In the society, when we think about the survival, so it is very much necessary that we need to understand others need, right? If we are very much careful and caring about others need, then definitely this society or this thing is going to be very much beautified, right? So here I end this video lecture. So thank you so much for watching, and if you found any problem, please let me know. Thank you so much, students.